Hello and welcome to this week's Organic Matters, the podcast brought to you by the Irish Organic Association. And I'm here in County Meath on the farm of Helen Hughes. Helen, thank you so much for having us.
Hi Hannah, you're very welcome to At Boy. This is our Suckler farm. We're here in our shed, would have been originally what we call our double slats, recently converted to accommodate the lieback for these heifers.
And you can hear the straw rustling. They love the straw, don't they?
It's amazing. I mean, the very first day we opened it up, they just strayed in and it was like Christmas. So yeah, it is. And I mean, we would have always had the rubbers and the slats and tried to keep them very comfortable and clean as much as possible, and a small bit of the lieback, but they really, really love the straw. So it's great to see it and they enjoy it. So we feed here along here. As they're feeding, they're standing under the slats. So that's where we get... so we have our dung there and a farmyard manure, which is so important to us now as organic. That's our main thing.
And silage is the main feed that they're getting. It's your own silage, I'm guessing.
Yes, our own silage. So we would cut silage probably end of June, so a little bit later. This year now could be, we'll see the year that is with all of the water. But yeah, our own silage. We've just got the pit, so the pit is here behind us, and we still have the pit going, and we have a bit there, so it'll keep us for the rest of the year. We're lucky. In the past, we would have always maybe made a few extra round bales and had them, and maybe sold them off or needed them ourselves. But since we've turned organic, that's, we didn't have that last year. There was just that little bit less, but we don't need it. Why put ourselves to it? So we're very happy with the pit, the quantity that's come out of it the last few years, and the quality that we're getting, and you can see they're happy.
And you're going to be fully certified in April. You were saying you'll be finished the 2-year process, but what made you want to switch to organic in the first place?
Yes, so we've been 2 years, which as I said, it's just absolutely flown by. It was taking it on, we were thinking, gosh, 2 years, we've a lot to do, and we did have a bit to do and a few changes to make along the way, both last year and this year, which we've managed to do. The organic, it struck me because I took over the farm them 2 years, so we were making the transition. Mum and I had come to the agreement that we would take over the farm and she would give it back to myself and my husband. But it needed a change. It needed something. We weren't quite sure what way to go with it, but we were suckling and we were calving down, and it was heavy work, and we kind of thought there has to be a slightly easier way to suit us. And honestly, we explored a lot of different things. We looked at getting rid of the sucklers. We looked at rearing calves. We looked at different options. But the organic, I went to a few farm walks. I have a neighbour not too far away from here who's been in a few years. Spoke to him, went over, visited, and just got a real good feel for it. And it gave me something. I thought to myself, like, I'm young enough. I'm 36, 37 this year. So I'm of an age where it's all about the climate and sustainability and what we can do better as individuals and as farmers. So the organic really appealed to me, and we knew our sucklers and we knew we had a good herd. So I kind of thought, well, why give that up and bring in something else? So we said we'd give the organic a go. It was the happy medium from the big change to what we had. And as I said, we were taking over, and it was just something to put our own stamp on, myself and my husband. So we jumped, and then we didn't jump straight away. I did, as I said, the farm walks. I did the course in advance, which was really helpful. It gave me a real good insight to what was ahead of us, and it suited me. That I was actually on maternity leave that year. I was off, so it's kind of, I had the time to look and explore and
so are
do
you
that
working
course.
off farm as well as the sucklers as well?
Yes, yeah, we both are, full time, so it's full on. Yeah, I am the other day job is I'm a building surveyor, so I work with an approved housing body and social housing. So so I do that. Now luckily I get to work from home a good bit, so which helps when you're watching cameras this time of year and keeping things going. So yeah, and my husband works off the farm too. But my mum, as I mentioned, my mum was just here beside us too. She's on the farm. It was originally her farm, she inherited from her uncle years ago, and herself and my dad farmed for years. So she's obviously a great help. She's still working full time too.
That's amazing.
So she would do like a lot of the mornings and keep an eye, and she loves the calving and calves and things like that. So and her, like, I mean, she's learned as much as I have over the years. So she's a great help to have.
And the weather's a little bit brighter, so will we stroll out and have a look at some of the other cattle that you have
you're
here
more
as
than
well?
welcome. Yeah, we'll show you around. Yes, this was all new, I can tell you anyway. So
we've just stepped into another shed now, and there's a straw bedded area here, and there's a new baby calf that's just been born. Look at it, it's adorable, isn't it?
So this is, so she's one of our heifers, our own bred heifer, so she's a limousine, and that would be a Hereford bull. So when we decided we were going to go organic, again through the farm walks and listening and talking to people, and of course, we would have always had continental breeds here. So the Simmental cow, Charolais bull for years and years. My dad was a big lover of the Charolais and went purebred for a while on different things. Just there were a lot of work, and then I decided, myself and Mum took over, we were going to try the limousine, just the easier calving as two women and all of that, which were lovely. So we've bred some of our own, and then the Hereford creeped in when we decided to go organic. And yeah, as I said, we love the Hereford. Very easy calves. They're calving. They're placid when you're dealing with them. They're sprightly. They get up, they drink, they do all that they're supposed to do, and they don't need much help along the way. So this is our latest lady, a heifer. So yeah, we're delighted. We've got a lot of bulls this year for some reason. We've just got a big run of bulls, and then the last 3 have been heifers, so it's great.
And where do all the calves go? Do you sell them at weaning stage, or do you finish them?
Yes, no, we sell at weaning. You can see here we're kind of set up for the cows over the winter, calving bays here, and we keep them on then, and would wean them over about a 2-week period, 2 to 3 week period. We sort of do the bulls first and then the heifers, and they're sold off. So that was a big learning curve with the organic. So I would have always brought them to the local mart here in Carnaross when I was conventional farming, and yeah, did well. Well, in fact, I probably would have sold a lot of the heifers off the field here in recent years. A couple of farmers who I dealt directly with, and it worked really well for us all, and then took the bulls to Carnaross. So,
and how many cows will you usually calve down every year?
This year is our lowest year, so this year we're calving 20. Next year we've 32 going to the bull, so we'd hope to between 25 and 30, and that's where we want to be with the organics. Any more than that is just not manageable here, and the grass is a learning curve for us too. We're year 2, we don't know how much more that we're going to, and that's our next project, doing the clover and that. But yeah, we're between 25 and 30 is the goal.
And how much land do you have here, and what kind of land is it?
We're farming 65 acres here, and we're lucky it's all around us, so we're not travelling, we're not loading, we're not it's time consuming more than anything to do that. So we're very lucky it's all around us. Quite flat, dry. I'd say we do have good land. We don't like saying that too loud, but it's relatively good. We can't complain. Yeah, so it's handy between this side of the road and that side, and yeah.
And you mentioned your mother farming, which is a bit unusual, I suppose. How did that come about?
Yes, so Mum actually inherited the farm here from her uncle back in the early 90s, and she was married to my dad. We were small kids, so they started to farm here together, tried different things. The sheep kind of crept in, but crept out pretty quickly. The cows were the love. As I said, Dad tried the Charolais pure beds for a couple of years. They were hard work. There was double suckling. There was a lot of things going on here over the years, different projects. I think at one time he was thinking about deer, and he genuinely did the course and everything. So no, they never appeared around
Very
the place.
entrepreneurial though.
Oh yeah, yeah, he did. He really went to it. He went to the bit around, and then for some reason didn't when a few farmers around about did. So yeah, they farmed together here. Dad would have done a lot of contracting off the farm, so that's that second income. Mum would have always had a bit of a job too, and then sadly, unfortunately, my dad, he passed away 15 years ago. So he was contracting and farming here, but he went to do a job here on our own farm just across the road, and he was killed in a machinery accident. So that was a big shock to family life to farm life to everything. But we had great support, and we had great community that rallied around us, and Dad's community, and taught us so much when we thought we knew it all, but we didn't. You know, Dad he was the one that was farming here, and he was doing the things. So we kind of scaled back a little bit after that. Oh, well, we did terrible. We went from one to the other. The last time we got locked down with TB was the year afterwards. So we had a year where we were left with weanings, and we were trying to get land and lease land. So it was a very steep learning curve.
And I think grief takes a long time. I mean, I lost my father recently enough, and it's funny the things that hit you a year or even a bit longer afterwards as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, only just before Christmas, Dad was into vintage tractors. He did an old 5000. So 15 years on, you know, it was there, and we did a little bit, and we took it up. We brought it to a few of the shows because, again, something else he was into. He was massively into machinery. He loved his machinery and real particular about it. So yeah, we've just, the 5000 has just parted, but it's gone to his cousin, who was equally as fond of vintage, and he's been eyeing it up for a few years. So we parted that. But even still, I mean, converting these sheds in the last 2 years, we've seen the work that Dad had done many years ago, and but there's a love here that he passed down to us, and that is why we're still here, I think, and that's why we did it. And it wasn't ever really a question that we wouldn't do it, you know. And I have 2 smallies. You've seen one of them there. So I have 2, a girl and a boy coming on, and it's really nice I grew up that way, and I think it's a lovely way of life, and it's a nice thing to be able to bring family up into, and it's hard work, but it's enjoyable, and it's good work.
What was your dad's name?
Noel, and my son is Noel. My 2.5-year-old is coming on. He's Noel McDermott. So we have we've Noel coming on, and he's loving the cows and the tractors and all of that.
It must have been great to get his vintage tractor out and to show them kind of Grandpa Noel's tractor, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was, and they cleaned it and polished it and scrubbed it alongside me, and they had the appreciation of it, and you know what, it was a lovely thing to have, but it just wasn't getting the value here. So we know where it's gone. We know it's going to be equally as loved and used probably a little bit around about. And first we did, we spent fertilising. We brought it out every so often when we could and do a little bit with it. But yeah, it's them little things, and it's nice to still be here. And he did love although he loved the contracting and the machinery, he really did love the farm, and I can feel him here at times, you know, definitely. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, it's one of the tidiest farmyards I've ever been around. It's a credit to you and your mother and your husband, who I hear gets roped in as well.
Cyril, yeah, definitely. They're both fond of I think there's a competition at times. She'll come down in the mornings and he'll come down in the evenings, and they'll be keeping an eye on one another's work and see was that fork put back where I left it.
No, I think it sounds like you might be the director of all of this.
Well,
it'd suit me if someone did that.
Referee. Could be one or the other. Don't tell them I said that, but. Yeah, no, it's really good. And do you know what? Mum has come on. She probably wasn't, when I said we were going organic, she was kind of, you know, is this the right way to go? And that element of change, you know, she'd done it this way for so long, and we are creatures of habit, and maybe change isn't something we take easily to. But she's really come on board now, particularly this year. I think she gets it. She's seen, last year would have been our first year to market, and she's seen that it can be done. You know, until you see the whole process from start to finish, and you get your whatever you're breeding, whatever it is you're producing to market, and you get that result, it all fits in then, I think, and then you start all over again. It comes a bit easier year on year. So yeah, Mum has really come around to it too, and particularly, Sarah was on board always. I think he's got plans. He's talking about owl boxes and different things to bring things, you know, back to the land. And although this isn't his home, and as I said, he wasn't a farmer before he met me all them years ago, but he's really taken to it, and he enjoys it, even though this time of year can be tough when he's off working and comes home at evenings and maybe have to get up and calve a cow check a cow anyway, at least in the middle of the night. But yeah, we try and keep the calving compact as much as possible, so we can manage them couple of months, and Mum can manage her work, and we try and take a bit of holidays and things. So we're all here, and you know, it's enjoyable too. It's lovely to see the calves come on, and it's a really, although it's a busy time of year, it's a really nice time of year, and even for my own kids to come down and see the calves and things like that, they love it. You know, it's really nice, and they can talk about it in school and all the rest. So yeah, it's a project. It's a project we love, and it's a project we'll grow on, I think, as the years go on, and as we learn a bit more, and see how much we can do and push it.
Well, because I know you have plans, you mentioned clover, incorporating clover into your grass as well. So we might, while the rain stays off, we might just go outside and have a little chat about that.
I'll show you where the cows and calves are running, the ones that we have on the farm already.
Oh, super.
Great. Now,
it's fairly windy, isn't it?
oh, it's changing. The sun was out 2 minutes ago, and then we'll probably be raining in 2 minutes more. So we're here. We've just popped out to the field, so you can see we have the cows that have calved. So there's 14 out there at the moment running with their calves. Even in this weather, they're down the bottom of the field.
It's challenging though, isn't it?
It is. It's hard to believe, like, we're the second week in April, and this is the conditions we're dealing with. But you know, we just have to get on with what it is, and hope that next week or 2 weeks dries up. But we're not too bad. Like, as I said, we have the pits, so we have a little bit of silage. Cows run in there. They can have the choice. They have their silage, and they run out. And calves then have the shelter here for when the conditions are less favourable. But clearly they're happy out.
The cows and calves, the cows and calves can go out to the field, and then if it does get miserable, they have free access back to the shed as well with straw, so they can lie down if it gets miserable.
And generally in the morning, we come down here in the morning, so they know they're here knocking around in the morning, they're fed, and by this time of the day then they're out and about, and they're getting a bit of fresh air. So I mean, it's for calves, to rear calves that way and to have them out, it's brilliant, because that one there that we've just calved down, she's 3 days tomorrow now. She's absolutely fine, there's not a bother in her, so she'll be popped out with the rest, and it just hardens them up. And I mean, when you're trying to keep hardy, healthy calves, it's the way to have them. Pop them out, and you know, we get to keep an eye on them here morning and evenings and see. But luckily, the last few years we have been very lucky. I hate saying that. Touch wood.
Touch wood, fingers crossed. In terms then of plans that you have for clover, how are you going to do that?
Yes, so clover is the next thing. It's just not, we haven't ventured into it just yet. The shelter and the sheds here, housing has been priority. But this year I really want to, we've good bit of farm manure there, so I want to get that out and try and get the clover spread with the as soon as possible. Now, I honestly thought April would be our month. I'm hoping April still is our month, but we'll see. But we will be starting with, like, paddock on paddock. Our silage fields would be the 13 acres to the back here, and then perhaps across the road. So I want to look at them and see how much more we can get out of them. We did the soil testing when we started out. I probably will do it again just to see. I'm very curious. I'm curious, optimistic, nervous, all of that, to see what way the soil has gone without the fertiliser that we would have put on conventionally. So
because you've obviously reduced fertiliser dramatically, and you mentioned as well that you're doing a lot of this for climate change reasons. But for anyone who doesn't know why clover is so important, explain to them.
Yes, so the clover obviously is the natural nitrogen that you will be spreading in your fertiliser that you buy in, and is not ideal and not good for the environment. So that natural nitrogen is what makes the grass grow and gives you more and better quality grass.
Clover is just a plant, but it has little nodules in its roots that can fix the nitrogen naturally. It can capture in the air and take down to the soil.
When you see the scientific view of it, and you see how much it goes down, and it's amazing. And then, I mean, but clover's so natural to us here in Ireland and in our country, so it'll be great to again bring that back into the land and see it there, and I can't wait to see what that brings. Like, we spent years sowing the seed that we were told that would give us the most, but it's not natural to Ireland. It's not our it's not what grows.
It's not natural to grass seed to Ireland, so you want to get back to the clover,
back
that would
to
be
the original. Back to our roots, quite literally. So looking forward to getting. as I said, I did a bit with the course, and I know a bit. So, and I've spoken to a few farmers. So I'm hoping that it'll be project. It'll be field by field basis.
Are you going to oversow it, or are you going to plough it in?
Oversow it. I'm going to try oversowing it. So that's what we will try, and then see how that goes, and then maybe next year, plough it and go. I have somebody that's saying, oh, you should plant your oats and do all of that. So that's something that's in mind. I'm going, oh, will I take out a paddock and will we try that? But that's something we really wouldn't have any clue on. So I'm half toying with how that might work. When we wean, I bought in the organic oats last year, and you can see it in them, and it makes weaning a hell of a lot easier. And handling, we would have maybe had the beef nuts and things and handled our cattle, and our cattle are still very quiet, and it's just we're around them a lot more. But I think over the winter, particularly if we were to keep on any of our weanings, that's our old way of doing it. We always sold the weanings, but if we were to keep any of them, I would experiment with the oats, but don't tell my husband I said that, because he'll have a heart attack. We weren't talking about it last night. Oh, there's my mum. She's coming to see us, check up on us. So that's the clover is definitely the short term, and see where we go from there.
Okay. Well, Helen, thank you very much for that. And for everyone listening, you've been listening to Organic Matters, the podcast brought to you by the Irish Organic Association. And for more information on organics, you can go to their website, www.irishorganicassociation.ie. And you can find all of these podcasts on Spotify or your podcaster of choice as well. But thank you very much for tuning in.